Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM22 story, The Head Coach, with me, Daniel. We're back today for part 90. It is transfer deadline day in the January window, and actually, I expect it to be quite a quiet one. It's been a Monday month so far, not a huge amount happening at the club, but we also face Arsenal away from home, a big club, a very good one, but having an awful season. They're down in 10th place. You can see the point totals. They're 10 points off 8th place Sheffield United. And it's largely because of big injuries. Tomiyasu's been out all year. Diaz has been out for ages. And you can start to see why they're struggling. For us, the finances are dipping. It's not helping our transfer quests. But we are going to give it our best shot. And we have dropped some silly points. Not that you'd know it from looking at the Premier League table. So if you are looking forward to seeing what our Director of Football does on transfer deadline day and what's happened in the window so far, then please do put a thumbs up on the video, subscribe down below for daily FM22 content. You can support the show as a channel member down below if you wish to, as well as turning that notification bell on for alerts every time a new video goes live. And of course, there's links in the eye above to the football podcast, which is now available on audio platforms too, so you can download and listen to your favourite episodes. And there's also the Twitch channel for regular live streams. But thank you as always for your incredible support. We are back for what seems to be a pretty easy Premier League run because we've dropped silly points this month and teams aren't getting closer. You can see that from the fact of a possible 75 points, we've now dropped 11 points. We have dropped a few clangers this month and it's largely been due to the schedule because we have had 10 games in 30 days since you were last with me against Liverpool. It's ridiculous, really. We almost had another scare against Everton despite a massive lead in the League Cup. And we've had 3 draws in a month in the Premier League. So it's not been plain sailing. We've not been playing against the top sides by any means. But we are still up there because other sides are having the same problems. There is no consistency across the board. So after the Liverpool game, which you saw with me, we played Brighton at home and were held to a 1-1 draw. Magno Luis scored on a stroke of half-time, but there was just no fitness left. It was almost a full backup side. We did bounce back though with a 5-1 win against Everton in the Carabao Cup. All the goals came in the second half for us. We were 1 down at the break, but Yakubu, Fernandes and Jaloka wanted to change that in the second period. There was almost a moment of here we go again in that one. A 3-1 win at home to Colchester with a rotated side in the FA Cup. A Gumbeat, Zolis and Rashford with a penalty. A 4-3 defeat in the second leg against Everton in the League Cup. Didn't matter too much, it was over by then. 2 for Mbappe and 1 for Rashford. A big 6-0 win at home to Aston Villa in the league. Another Mbappe hat-trick. Sancho, Fernandes and Yakubu with 1 each. A 3-0 win at Leicester through Fernandes, Zolis and Rashford. A 3-0 win at home to Middlesbrough through Fernandes and a Yakubu brace. A 2-2 draw away at Newcastle. 93rd minute equaliser from John Cutler there. And Mbappe and Gaia had scored for us. And a 2-1 win against Brighton, who'd held us earlier in the month. They gave us a good game, I've got to say. Yakubu and Sancho scored the goals. Yakubu's actually becoming our star now. 5-star ability player. Not got the natural fitness, which is really annoying. But otherwise, he's one of the best players in the world. And for England and for us, that is a big, big positive. What I do want to mention, though, is that we've got some very big games coming up. Because Atletico Madrid is our draw in the Champions League. We'll show the first leg of that next time, as well as the League Cup final against Liverpool. Now, if it goes anything like the Community Shield final, it's going to be embarrassing. But we've got Gaia out suspended, Benjamin cup-tied. We're a little short defensively. I wonder if that will come back to haunt us or not. In the meantime, though, a very big month of Premier League games. Chelsea, Spurs and Arsenal. Watford's a little banana skin in the FA Cup. And things get tough towards the end of the season too. But everything else is going swimmingly. We're not losing games. Yes, we're dropping points. But so are the others. If City win their game in hand, it comes back to 9 points. But really, Chelsea, the side who were up there last season, they've already dropped a ridiculous number of points. 25 now. That means they're only 1 defeat away from not being able to match last year's total with 14 games to go. It's pretty embarrassing. But good to see City starting to recover a little bit. Maybe we'll get competition in the next year or two. Let's go to the inbox though, because it is transfer deadline day and we are linked with some big old names. A few sort of squad players been linked with moves out. Phil Jeffrey, who we played against in the last episode, linked with a move in, now becoming a great centre-half. Selly and Boyer, I mean, it's every window, isn't it? Our former player at Palace, he's great, but he's not coming, is he? Let's be honest. And then Reginaldo Monsoy from Sheffield United again, who've got a really decent side. But if they're talking 100 million, he ain't worth that. And it seems a little bit like Voloshin syndrome there. Wasn't good enough, came in. Magno Louise, not good enough, been involved. Russell Thompson even, same category. So we don't really need another winger, but seems to be all we sign. There has been a little bit of work so far. Jeremy Frimpong has agreed to go at the end of his contract to Real Sociedad. He's now 31 years of age, been a really solid squad player. I hope we can get a replacement in for him. In terms of transfer history though, a couple of young players coming in. One for £11 million, who we'll look at in a moment. But in terms of outs, there is also a first team name. Nothing permanent, but Santiago Casal has gone to Mainz, had played a few games for us this season, had been involved in the squad. But I'm not heartbroken, I'll be honest about it. The one that came in though, similar position, Marco Halloran. 11 million raising to 14.5. He's a very good player actually. He's a number 10 who's great in the finish. He's a proper shadow striker. And with Bruno Fernandes retiring soon, and with us looking for developments, I feel he could be one that gets a chance. And if we win the title quite early, I'd like to promote him and give him a few games. But that's all a long way off. Let's go and take part in deadline day. 15 hours remaining. We've seen no indication of big players coming in this month. But it would be nice to see something special on deadline day. Transfer budget of 150 million remaining. No idea how when we're in debt. And just the 1 million of wage budget available too. So there's room for manoeuvre if John Murtow needs it. Let's go and see if he uses it. First offer in of the day is for Alessandro Bordanelli. £28.5 million rejected by John Murtow from Borussia Dortmund. We'll skip the staff meeting today. Although actually, look, they're recommending we recall a player from loan. So we've got to go and listen to it because this is recruitment advice. And when we look at the save, we have to consider it. And it's Gafarou Diallo unhappy at the amount of football he's getting at Norwich. He's not really playing, so we'll follow their advice, we'll recall him from his loan, see what the director of football does for the rest of the day with him. But we've got through the rest of it as Diallo is back at the club. He's still loan listed, let's see if he goes anywhere else. Well, maybe not the type of deal we were hoping for, maybe not that exciting one that we were expecting to get, but Raffaele Bertozzi, a 20-year-old left-back from Ostend, is being bought. 185 grand up front, 1-star ability, 2-star potential. I mean, he's all right, but not really the deal we were looking for, to be honest. He's been offered 3 grand a week. I think it's just to fill the under-23 squad. I can't see another reason for it. 6 hours to go. It's looking like a very quiet day. Not a lot happening at all. Let's see if that changes towards the end of the window. In fact, are we linked with anyone? Transfer rumours? No. I think we've just got our answer. Well, we asked what might happen to Diallo when he was recalled from the staff meeting this morning. Gil Vicente have made a loan offer for him. It's been rejected though because they've offered no wages. So Matt Hale, the loan manager, is forcing the financial side as well. 5 hours left. No more news though. Don't think we're getting a big one in, are we? And almost immediately after Bertozzi has joined, he is not a great footballer at all. We'll send him on the language course. He won't ever be good enough. I agree with the fans. Let's move on. Is this going to be the 4th window in a row we're linked with Selly and Boyer and not getting him? It looks like it, doesn't it? 3 hours left and Gil Vicente are back in the hunt. They've offered 40% wages this time. They're getting nowhere with it. I actually think this might be the first nothing deadline day in terms of first team action we've seen in a very long time. Well, there we go. Absolutely nothing in terms of first team additions. Just the one youngster joining the club. Casal has left on loan. And of course, we've got that 17-year-old in for 11 million from West Brom. But John Murtow is clearly happy with the squad we've got. And looking at the league table, you probably can't argue with him. It's just whether it's strong enough to compete in all the cups. Particularly at centre-half, where we've still only got 3 players. In terms of wage bill, we're still the 3rd biggest in the league, which shows we're doing very well to be top. And City have spent £61 million on an elite winger this January. I was about to say, let's go and see if any of the other big teams have improved. Well, City, can they close the gap with this guy? I mean, he's good. Mentally, he's very strong. And he's only 21, so he's going to be an absolute world beater. Whether or not he's going to make the difference this season, I'm not sure. But it is good to see the top sides finally regenerating their squad with quality youngsters. Do we see if anyone else has gone in as well? As Palace signed Van der Beek, our former club. I mean, they just keep going for the over 30s, don't they? Let's have a look at the January transfer window. We'll get them in date order. Sheffield United making some moves. There's not many big deals, are there? Got to be said, in terms of ins, there's not a huge amount happening. Chelsea selling one there on deadline day, but there were not many big deals at all. Certainly not with the big clubs. So not really pushing to try and catch us at the top of the league. And that probably bodes well for this season. But we need more next one. I think that City signing is literally the only massive one of the window. But that's disappointing, isn't it? Let's skip ahead to the Arsenal game. And after that, it's going to need to be exciting to wake us all up, isn't it? Fingers crossed we get something special against Thomas Tuchel's side. Back in a moment. Fitness test time ahead of the Arsenal game. There is a lot of things going on with this match that we didn't expect. So it is actually quite a dramatic one. Of course, we're still playing every 3 days, so a few doubts with fitness, which we'll get to later. Firstly, though, Thomas Tuchel is very close to the sack. They're 10th in the league. They're really struggling. I'm interested to see how this pans out. And even more so from our point of view, is our 100th game in charge of United. So we could use it as a chance to edge one step closer to the title and make ourselves look like the dominant force in England. But I'm still very frustrated that it's easier to win the Premier League than anything else. There's no point continuing to talk about it though. Let's go and get into the match, see if we get a shock. City have got what should be a home banker against the league's bottom side. Liverpool have got a home game they should be winning. Chelsea likewise. So we have probably got the toughest of the top 4 today. Let's see if it works out that way. We're going to get through the tactical meeting. We're going to see how fit everybody is. Ignacio suspended. I have added Marco Halloran, the youngster, to the Champions League squad as well, as we had one space. And we've got a lot that we can bring back in after the last game. So let's go and adjust it. Looks like we've got everyone to choose from. We'll be back in a minute to run through the 11. Well, this is actually pretty close to our first 11 in the end. We've managed to get nearly everyone fit. Of course, Inaccio's not there. Of course, we're missing Amponza through injury. And we've got our little struggles on the left-hand side with no one really in form. Emre misses out on the squad. He's not quite fit after injury. We'll play him in the weekend in the cup game. But our starting 11 is Meslier in goal. Bassone partners Benjamin at centre-half. They're still 2 very good players. Pavati and Guy at the first-choice fullbacks. Johnny comes in to partner Jalocca in the middle. It was Hannibal in the last game at the weekend. And then it's Yakubu, Sancho and Fernandes, the attacking midfield 3, with Kylian Mbappe up front. Chalk and cheese this season's the last for him. He has been a monster in this season's Premier League. And Bruno Fernandes, if we're here next season, we cannot let this man retire. He's just starting to dip now. You'd suggest it's the right time for him, but I'd love to keep him in the squad one more year. So we'll ask him later in the season, but let's go and get into the match. Arsenal v Manchester United. This was a very difficult test last year, but it was an Arsenal side full of confidence. Now they're all over the place. We've made 5 changes. With them, they're playing every 3 days too. So let's see what squad they put out. Well, Arsenal still got a few originals in this side 11 years in, and I guess it's not a surprise in here because the likes of Saka, Erdegaard, Ramsdale, very young players at the start, but that still means this squad is going to be pushing on a bit. Aronson's in there, Milinkovic-Savic will be ancient now. He's there, Bruno Fernandes. And at the back, even the likes of Demiral and Todibo, it's another old aging squad. And we just need some young blood in these top teams, like City have done with their big signing. And to be fair, even we've had a few join the club recently. So let's hope that we can make an impact today. If we win this, the title's got to be almost done. Given the month we've got Chelsea at home, Spurs at home, we stay unbeaten in the Premier League in that spell, then the title is coming back to Old Trafford again. Let's get the league table showing. All the fixtures are up. Liverpool are ahead already as we've got a throw on the right with Gaia. 7 minutes in, Yakubu on the ball. The Emirates is packed to the rafters, but are they going to have something to celebrate? Jadon Sancho hits the post. It was offside in the end, but a lovely move again. Little dink over the top, making it hard work for them as Chelsea take the lead and City. So it finally looks like all the big boys are going to win a game at the same time. Chelsea have doubled their lead. It's great to see at last. City have done the same too. And if Arsenal can spring a surprise here, it does just make it squeaky bum time again, because then the gap could drop to 7 if City win a game in hand, or even 6 if we lose it. Though Mbappe's into the box here, we do look the more likely. Crosses for Jalocca, who heads just over. Did everything right, tried to put it back where it came from. Couldn't quite get enough on the ball. It remains 0-0 with half an hour gone. It's been a decent game this, to be honest. As Liverpool complete the set, the whole top 4 apart from us is 2-0 up at home. We are struggling here at Arsenal, but we are having more of the territory now as Pavati comes down the left to Jadon Sancho. Cuts back on that right foot to Jalocca. Options inside of him. Fernandes is one. Goes wide to Gaia. He's on the overlap. Can he get to the byline? He does. It's a great cross. Mbappe heads in. Ramsdale's outstretched arm. Can't get enough on it. But what will VAR decide? Was it offside? It was so close. Even I can't call this one. Craig Pawson checks. The goal is disallowed. And frustratingly for us, it still remains goalless. Spurs have got one back. 2 back now against Liverpool. What a bottle job, honestly. Spurs in the bottom half as well. North London having an awful year. But Liverpool, it's consistency. It's doing my head in. We've got the greater expected goals here. We should really be one up. But Arsenal have defended well. And they don't look like a side that should be 10th in the league. As Chelsea get a third, Liverpool retake the lead on a stroke of half time with Kevin Brown. And they need confidence before our League Cup final. As Jalocca goes back to Bassone. Up towards Bruno Fernandes, who we so often rely on for the magic. This time it's Mbappe though, through to Yakubu. Saka and Ramsdale combine. No idea who got the last touch. It's a wonderful challenge though, and Yakubu's into the book. He's struggling physically, and he can't do anything from that corner. It's the only qualm I have with him. We cannot get his stamina up. As Sancho surges through the team. Oh, that's magic. Great save, Ramsdale. Absolutely super run. He's not had a good game, but that was phenomenal and almost gave us the lead as Fernandes, corner kick to the back post, headed away. Arsenal starting to cling on a bit now. 55 gone, they'll be happy with a point. As we're back just past the hour mark, I was trying to make some changes, but you know my superstition. As Arsenal pick the ball up in the centre circle, we've seen nothing of them going forward, but they get in behind there down the right. Meslier forced into a brilliant save. I'm going to have to make some changes because there are some tired legs out there. I'm thinking both wingers and Jalocca at the minute. As the corner from Arsenal is headed clear, Ødegaard gets it to Todibo. We managed to see it out pretty well. And now we've got an injury. We left Yakubu on 5 minutes too long. I'm going to bring Rashford on for him. Zolis on the left. And Hannibal in centre midfield. 3 changes that do not strengthen us. And an injury that might cause us some alarm with big games in other competitions coming up. As Rashford picks it up on the right towards Mbappe. Into the centre circle for Arsenal. They are coming into this game towards the end. And they're surging forward here with the ball through to Haggerty. And he should have scored. I remember saying that against them last season. Chelsea have gone 5 up. City have gone 4 up. Liverpool have got a 4th too. And we look like we're going to be held. Which means the gap, if City win their game in hand, will go down to 7. If that Yakubu injury is bad with the Champions League against a tough side and a League Cup final too. This could be a little turning point for our season. Let's hope not, because it wouldn't be a good one. But that injury is worrying me more than the result now. A disappointing 0-0 draw. Entertainment at its finest for you guys on camera. Now let's see how bad that is. Because it could, quite frankly, be season defining. Well, there's your confirmation that both Chelsea and City won by 5. Which does help their goal difference. Not enough though. Tottenham got another one back, but Liverpool did cling on. He's just starting to edge closer at the top of the table. But not enough to worry us just yet. I really need to see though what this Yakubu injury is. 4 weeks. It doesn't sound that bad, but when you consider in the next 4 weeks, we face the League Cup final, we face Atletico Madrid and Chelsea and Spurs in the league. It's not a good time for it at all. I'm a little bit worried about that. We've got fitness concerns about Pavati and Fernandes. Do you know what I'm going to do? Because we've got 6 days off after Watford, I know it's a gamble and it might cost us in the cup. I'm actually going to send lots of the tired players and the first teamers on holiday for a week. They'll be away until that Thursday, then they can come back for the Chelsea game. And with Yakubu out from injury, we can't afford for others to break down like he has today. So not a good sign at all. I mean, you know when we're going to be back. It's Atletico Madrid away in the first round of the Champions League knockouts. And Liverpool in a cup final. A chance to win our first proper trophy of the season if we exclude the Community Shield. And without Yakubu and Ponza and a few others in the squad getting a bit stretched, I'm starting to get concerned. Let me know in the comments if you think I should be, or ultimately, will the AI give us a free pass in the Premier League? Will Chelsea do something stupid against us? Who knows? If you want to stay up to date and find out and you did enjoy this episode, please do put a thumbs up on it. Subscribe down below for daily FM22 videos from 2 long-term stories. Massive episode in the Hemel Save tomorrow. We had our 10-year bookmark yesterday, but that will be followed by a big transfer special. I hope you'll come and join me for it. It's a great way to finish the weekdays. It should be plenty of fun too. Let me know in the comments how many of the 4 trophies you think we're going to win and which ones you think they'll be. Let me know what you thought of deadline day too. Probably not a huge concern that nothing happened, but if the injuries pile up, it could be a big problem. You can find links in the eye above to the football podcast and to the Twitch channel for regular live streams. Our schedule is across social medias and on the YouTube community page now for April. But I'll put the link to yesterday's 10-year bookmark from the Hemel Save above my head now. You can compare it to the head coach one a week or so ago. And I'll see you tomorrow for a transfer special there and then a cup final here in 2 days' time.